2, 3.
Don't worry, they're not as bad as they look.
Hello, and welcome to X-Rated, the X-Men animated review show, where we are not as bad as we look.
We're worse.
We're worse. Much worse.
Much worse.
Oh, well. Yeah, much worse. But thanks for joining us all the same.
Who are you? What are you?
I am your host, Arkon. And with me is always...
Why drag me here like a prisoner?
Sometimes I have to do what I have to do. My co-host, Arkon. We're both Arks. We are the Ark brothers today,
Yes.
I guess.
I mean, he's the only character that's not the normal X-Man in this episode, so we kind of both went for the outlier.
We both think our Ark name is better than the others, so let us know, X-Goons. Is it
That's
Arkorn or Arkon?
Mine obviously is better, but it's fine.
I mean, just because your beard gets... Actually, your beard is tied with Black Tom now. So...
Oh, come on. You just made up some fake accounts and went in there.
No,
Started
I
voting
didn't.
for Black Tom. You sure did.
I did not, and because we only have 3 patrons, it's up to Jaemeel to decide.
Jaemeel, I'm going to be very disappointed if you don't choose the correct answer.
Well, of course he's going to choose me. Come on. Jameel's a smart man. Anyway. Did you hear those sound effects fine? Just check.
Oh, yeah.
Because last time all right, just make sure we didn't have another last time.
Nope,
disaster.
I think we're good.
Okay. All right. Well, how are things?
Busy. It's the busiest vacation I've ever been on.
Well, that sounds like you.
Yep. Yeah, a lot of traveling around to just home and help the father-in-law move today, and then back on the road tomorrow to go to Halifax. So,
Right.
oh, hey, you want to go to lunch tomorrow? I think I'll have time.
Yeah, sure.
All right, cool. I'm heading in.
It's gonna be raining. I'm not gonna be working.
Right. Yeah, it's supposed to be a rainy day.
Oh yeah, real rainy. Like there's no light rains anymore around here. It's just
No.
just
Torrential
on and off.
monsoons.
Yep. Whoops, what am I doing with that? There's no exclusive interviews. I just clicked the wrong button. Here we go. We're your hosts, of course, Davan and Andre. And we are here to review, what is it? Season 5, Episode 3.
Well, the animation
That's
isn't
the
as
animated
bad
series.
in this episode as I was expecting.
It's not there yet. That's not it. That's clearly
It's still not great, but
the
it's
old team.
not bad.
Yeah, like this one must be out of place too, because we're not there yet. Like that, we had it once. There was, I think, that long shot episode where they had.
Oh yeah, that was really bad.
That is what we're gonna get for the rest of it at some point. We're just not there yet.
I mean, this one seems
Definitely.
a little off in parts, but it does look normal.
I think this one's fine, normal. Yeah,
Yep.
it's normal. It's not as like crazy good as the Phalanx was for some
No.
reason. But yes, here we are to review Stormfront Part 1, written by Mirith Kaleo.
You were going to stay here until you get that correct. You racially insensitive jerk. You should know every name pronunciation. Come on. Do better. Be better, Devin. It's obviously Mirith J. Kolao.
Now you have to stay here until you fix it.
I think it's Mirith J. Kolao. It looks like Kolao.
Kalao?
Kolao. Like
A new
Laos.
writer for this,
Wow.
also who I looked it up, also wrote some other cartoons and stuff. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about this episode or something?
Yeah, let's get into it.
You want to do it? I don't know if we should. I really, spoiler alert, I really did not like this episode. How did you feel about it? We can totally talk about it. It's fine. We'll go through it. So, we begin with some kind of a storm front.
Whoa, what are you doing?
Oh, right, sorry.
Oh my God, it's like we're amateurs.
Previously on X-Men.
And you had so much opportunity to start this.
There are reasons to work for a better future. Here comes one now.
Pietro, thank God you're safe.
Sentiments shared by every parent on Earth.
The way he says Pietro's name.
Pietro.
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 It's like the most dramatic possible way you can say that name. Pietro.
Well, he named it to. Actually, he probably didn't even name him.
Pietro. Welcome. Come to your father, Pietro.
Come, Pietro. I'll be interested to see what the new voice of Magneto's like.
Yeah, I'm gonna miss David Hembeck.
Yeah, Hemblin. Yeah,
he was so
me,
good.
so am I. Yeah, he really was. Yeah, but we move on.
Do we?
Let's get into this episode, shall we? I'll fire this up. Boom. Stormfront, Part 1. Here we have it.
All right. Well,
Look at that. It's the White House.
looks kind of like Independence Day here.
It is about to get Independence Day.
So, what kind of cider are you drinking tonight?
What is it? It's an American Pale Ale. That's what it is.
It looked like a cider.
No, just a fine copper beer.
Do you not like ciders?
Not my favorite. I'll
Really?
drink one, but I don't buy them. It's a little sweet for my taste. You know,
Since I'm on
it's like
vacation,
chicken juice.
On vacation, I decided to drink all week, but I decided to not start during this episode. So I may have a few afterwards. I got an interesting.
If you didn't like the episode, you might as well pour yourself.
Yeah, I could actually. I got a whiskey from PEI that I've never seen before called Swear Jar, and actually it's shaped like a jar. So like when you're done with it, you use it as a swear jar.
That's an awesome idea.
Yeah, it's a cool little idea. I haven't cracked it yet, but it looks interesting. It's just I think it's made in PEI. I don't know if it's made in PEI, but it's I've never seen it before.
Cool.
Anyway, the X-Men are traveling around in the Blackbird in the middle of a horrendous storm, which is probably not the best thing to do with an airship. It's fly it around in a horrible storm. I actually got rained out of golf on the weekend because it started thunder and lightning while we're on the golf course. So you don't being in a giant metal plane is probably not a good idea either.
No.
So anyway, Wolverine's
O'Neil.
Yeah, actually, yeah, it's pretty cool. It actually kind of looks like the way she was in the original comics, because she was black in the original comics, so she looks like she's dark enough skin that she could be in this as well. But yeah.
I shudder to think of such a possibility.
Oh my God! Why did that do that?
Oh. So we see the news report in which they're talking about this horrible storm. They don't know what's causing it, and then we get some kind of a dingus off the street that blames it on the mutants, saying it must be the mutants screwing it up.
Oh my God! I had to have that clip because it's just so funny.
You got to play it. It's pretty funny.
So far, the National Weather Service has no explanation for the sudden and bizarre nature of this storm.
It's those freaking mutants, man. They're doing this.
The freaking mutants, they're doing it.
It's such a 90s way of talking to. It's the friggin' mutants, man. They're doing it. Even says man, like.
It's funny, like Storm could be if she wanted to. But she's not.
Yes, but we're not really sure whether. I guess the mutants are trying to figure out what the cause of the storm is. Storm, of course, is on the ship with them, and she seems very bothered.
Very bothered.
You have a little animation going there when you skip those pretty fast. So either she ate some bad clams, or there's something going on with the weather.
Or both.
You know, I love how Jubilee's like, it's cool, Storm. Just get a hold of yourself. Like she's obviously like being rabid. She's like, oh, the Earth is poisoned. Something is screwing
good, man.
You know? She's freaking
Mutants
out.
Are doing it.
Jubilee's like, just calm down, Storm.
Yeah. Don't worry about the weather. It'll be fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Sunny days.
So that obviously Beast posits that there is something that's affecting the weather is obviously affecting Storm. Storm hits the old emergency hatch and busts out the plane to go investigate on her own. She tosses Jubilee aside pretty hard too.
Yep.
Just toss her aside like she's nothing.
Well, Jubilee was just gonna jump out of the plane after her. It's like you can't fly, right, Jubilee?
That was before that. She was trying to help Storm, and then when Storm flew out, Jubilee almost went out after her, trying to stop her. But Wolverine makes the save.
Yeah.
So then the plane is.
Pay to get off this road.
Sky, the air, the wind, injured, crying, not of the earth.
It's not of the Earth.
But where's it up?
The irregular weather patterns validate
Storm's intuitive distress. They defy nature in that they do not coincide with the meteorological pressure systems that cause them.
Stop flexing, Beast.
Thank you,
Jesus Christ.
He's been flexing a lot in season 5.
Yeah, he no, I don't think he's allowed to say a word that's below 3 syllables. Like he's just like when they're writing his dialogue, they're like, how many syllables are in that word? No contractions, no syllables.
Her instinctual distress.
Intuitive. The intuitive nature of her powers.
Her intuitive distress, yes.
The intuitive nature of her powers.
He's great. We love him.
So the ship gets struck by lightning and damages the wing. They're having trouble landing it, and they're getting tossed all around the plane. Then we see them manage to use the thrusters to land the plane safely, although it's a little bumpy of a ride. We see a storm flying around trying to stop the destruction being caused by the storm. You got a lot of pictures there. But I got a fun point about this sequence. Or might be a little later on in about this episode. Is one of my X points. No, I'll talk about it later.
All right.
So we see Storm using her powers to fix this crazy weather system by stopping, the hurricanes and the tornadoes and the other things. And then we see a guy in a purple coat kind of watching her, from a distance. We see the X-Men land. And sorry, I got to take a drink of water.
Oh, yeah. Almost looked like old Bug-Eye knew what he was doing.
That's why I shouldn't eat food while doing this. Sorry. So, I didn't have time to eat. So, they're trying to reach Storm, but she's kind of busy, sort of stopping all the weather. But the weather kind of starts up again, even after she starts fixing it. And then she's approached by the gentleman that we seen earlier with the purple cape.
Purple Man.
I will not allow
we did a
it.
purple man in here already. She basically is overcome by it and it falls off the Lincoln Memorial. And while she's falling, she's caught by old purple cape.
My name is Arkon, ruler of Polemicus. My planet is dying.
My planet is dying.
Like that intro. Hello, my name is Arkon. My planet is dying.
You just catch her.
My planet's dying. Can I just start introducing myself like that? Hello, I'm Davan. My planet is dying.
So when he catches her, he uses something attached to his harness there to stop the weather. So it's obvious that he's been doing it. They have a very brief exchange, and there's a lot of sexually charged moments between these two, being that they just met. They don't really know each other at all.
Yeah, it's a little quick. I'm not a fan, but he's
very
good
quick
enough for Storm.
Of course, you got long hair though. If you threw a beard on, I mean, and you worked out a little more.
Then he'd be good enough for Storm, but he doesn't have that beard.
Yeah,
exactly.
So,
Who's we? The Cub Scouts above. Now move over.
Sure.
Oh, that's a little later on, but that's a fun moment. So the X-Men are trying to reach her.
It's true. What is this? They just met. Look at this.
Yeah.
And they're basically touching foreheads and staring into each other's eyes. It's like, what just happened?
Yeah. And then they're trying to contact her, and then when she's trying to answer them, he grabs her by the wrist and it's like, we have no time. We have to go. You need to save my planet. And basically just picks her up and walks through a portal that he makes with these little balls he has on his waistband. So Storm manages to as her communicator got thrown off, she managed to pull one of the balls off and throw it on the ground as well. So leaving a breadcrumb trail, if you will, to her fellow X-Men to find her. It's rather funny because he's just we must go. There's no time. I need you. And he just pulls.
My planet is dying.
She doesn't really seem to struggle all that much, he just sort of okay.
No, she doesn't.
Yeah, considering he's taking her off to another planet, and also he says that he knows of her powers and how she saved the Earth and she's a goddess to him and wants her powers to help his planet. How does he know all this? He lives in another planet. Or another. How does he know who she is even, or that her powers?
If he can travel to other dimensions, perhaps he can observe them.
So he just hangs out on Earth sometimes and watches the news.
Well, he's not.
Why didn't he help them?
Planet. It's more of interdimensional.
Okay. Regardless, how does he know who she is?
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on in other interdimensions. Dimensions
You
nearby?
don't.
Adjacent?
Well, you're not paying attention to the news.
Well, is there dimensional news that I'm not aware of?
Well, yeah.
Oh, shit, I gotta get in on this. I didn't know. How did I not know?
Well, higher dimensions. It's
Of course, yes, it's a
a
dimensional
lot to take in.
That's true. It's a lot of ins, a lot of outs, a lot of what have yous.
Mhm.
You really gotta stay on the ball.
You
So,
do.
being that they can't use the Blackbird anymore because it's damaged in the storm, they commandeer a car from a local
This
guy.
guy's car.
This guy's car. They just run up to his car.
Hey,
Wolverine
this
makes
guy.
him sit in the middle and starts driving, and all the X-Men just pile in.
It's like, why doesn't he just get out of the car? They're like, we're taking you with us, bub.
Well, because they don't want to have to drive it back to him later. This way they can just let him drive.
True.
And they say he'll be compensated. I don't know what that means. So they give him money for his gas or something. And also,
Yeah,
what kind of
least they
car
can
is
do
this?
is
It
pay
looks
for
like
the
a
gas.
military Land Rover.
Does, doesn't it? Well, maybe that's why they stole it.
It's a Jeep, I believe, but although it has, when you look down on it, it might be station wagon actually. When you look down on it from the top, it looks like it has 3 doors, like it's like almost like it's a limousine. But anywho, I don't think you get a cap of that. So no, I think it's supposed to be a station wagon. I think that's just the door in the back. When you look down on it from the top,
That's just a window. That's that station wagon window.
But when you see it like drawn from the front and those symbols, it really looks like a tank or something. So Buddy's obviously a little trepidation about them taking his car. Beast tells him that he'll be rewarded, and that's when Jubilee is the line, which is not as bad as they look. Yeah. So we see Professor X trying to find Storm, and he says he can't find her anywhere. She's either thousands of miles away or unconscious or worse, which means dead. But we can't say that on the old kid show. So
how much longer are we going to play with that golf ball?
Try to be patient, Jubilee. Beast is doing the best he can.
That made me laugh out loud, actually.
It's like a glowing
Calm
thing.
down, Jubilee.
It's a glowing thing. That's the only hint we have to find Storm. And she's like, when are we going to stop fucking around with this thing?
Yeah, like, come on, Beast. Like, what's taking you so long? It's been,
Idiot.
like 30 seconds. It's like, what? Jubilee's pretty funny in this episode, actually.
Yeah, pretty good.
She's being kind of petulant, but it's pretty funny.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
her character.
Yes, for sure. So basically, they go back, try to study what it is. There's nothing, no element within it is of Earth. They can tell everything that makes it up is not of our planet.
And interestingly, light shines through it no problem, but X-rays don't.
Yes. Well, Wolverine's getting upset about the fact that they're not getting any headway. He knocks it over, it hits the floor, and then opens the portal. Wolverine and Portaballs. Wolverine being Wolverine says, fuck this, we're gonna go save her, and then just jumps in, not knowing where it's
such
going.
a Wolverine moment.
Could just drop him in
oh
the
my
middle of
god, we
space.
must make a plan and study this. He's just like, well, you guys do that. While you're doing that, I'm gonna go through the portables.
Could just drop him into the middle of space for all we know, but
yeah,
that's what we're doing. So they all run in after him. Beast even has a fun line where he's like, I believe I do agree with Wolverine on this one.
You welcome wagon ladies seen a white-haired woman flying around?
Whoops, I'm way ahead.
Textbook. Davan.
True.
So we see Storm and Arkon.
Maybe I'm famished and I should be eating during the show as well.
Perhaps you should. Can you hear the crunching? Is that coming through? Oh, okay, I'll stop it.
But there's the planet. Polemicus.
So we see Arkon, and he isn't from Weird World originally. He's from something else because I looked up.
He's from Polemicus.
But like when he was in the comics, it wasn't the Weird World comics. So I looked those up, and he's not in them.
He's not from the original Weird World comics. He was just dropped there during Secret Wars.
Oh, that's what it was. Okay, I knew he had some connection to it, but that must be what it was.
Yeah, no, he's from Polemicus, and he was in Avengers comics and Avengers West Coast.
Okay. So, I love societies that have all this advanced technology, but also wear loincloths and essentially like medieval outfits. Like what like it's like He-Man. Like they have like flying cars and laser beams, but they wear loincloths, and it's just very strange.
I have an X point about his look.
Oh, do you? Is it related to the comics?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Does he normally have
he
the
looks the
lightning bolt?
exact same in the comics too. Yeah,
Does he normally have the lightning bolt things in? Okay.
Sure does.
So he shows her through the computer screen that something's going on with their planet. The weather's all messed up, and they need her powers to stop it. We see the X-Men arrive in this world where they're essentially attacked by the people of Telemachus, who think that they're because they're outsiders, they're the ones that are causing the weather issues. So they go to attack them.
They are on his back there.
Oh yeah, okay.
He has his lightning bolts.
So one of the weather stuff's going on. The X-Men are defending themselves from the villagers. Basically, Jubilee shoots some beams at them, and they run away. Storm just is chilling out in a chair, trying to use her powers to connect to the whole world, basically, with whatever's going on in this particular planet's the ecosystem. And she manages to, while she's working on it, the X-Men are fighting these robots. We don't know where the robots come from or what they're really related to. Are they Arkon's robots? I don't know.
The Telemachus.
I think they're no, they must be. Yeah, they're like security robots for this place. So, hey, what are you doing? In here, buddy. Say hi to everybody.
Do you have an X point about these two by any chance?
They look familiar. Looks like Kazar, actually.
Oh, I was gonna say it looks like He-Man and She-Ra or something like that. Or
no, it doesn't look like She-Ra. The green thing kind of looks like the Enchantress's outfit. Teela's outfit's blue. She's like
Thor
a bird.
and Enchantress, maybe.
Yeah, I can see that. So the security robots start attacking the X-Men, thinking they're intruders. And then they have some interestingly stupid dialogue here to explain. Like at one point, Beast is like, they have very low centers of gravity, and then that just lets them all like punch them in a certain spot, and they just spiral and they crash.
Your powers have half the strength of your compassion. You can save galaxies.
What a smooth talker he is.
He's very smooth talker.
This is not how I would have wished to learn about this new culture. Oh,
that's very Star Trek, actually. He's just a Starfleet officer in training.
Tin cans of this planet take dancing lessons.
Their center of gravity, however, is problematic.
Yeah, exactly. They fly. How do they have a bad center of gravity? Like, I get that if a short person has a lower center of gravity and they're harder to sort of push over, but like not when you're flying. Anyway, so Storm manages to reach and connect with the planet.
Quite the friggin' robot.
They kind of remind me of
claws and
remind me of the Crimson Dynamo costume, actually.
Yeah,
a little bit. Yeah. So and a little bit of Death's Head in there, but mostly the Crimson Dynamo costume. I don't know what's his face. Who's the bad guy from the Justice League? Prometheus. A little bit like his costume too. Anyway,
he's angry.
He's happy. He's not quite. Because that's when the weather's still destroying the planet. So Storm manages. He holds her hand, and the two of them, using Storm's powers, manage to stop the destruction. Around the same time, the X-Men are captured by those robots that hit them with one of those balls that they used to travel here, which just drops them right into a prison cell. So then they're trapped there, trying to figure out how to get out. But in true, not even thinking about what they're doing, Wolverine just claws his way through the, Actually, first it looks like he's going to claw his way out of the prison, but then you see a beam. So when Storm and Arkon are like, are talking there, you see the wall bust open, and so I guess Wolverine in theory could have clawed through out of the prison, and then Cyclops could have shot one of the robots through the wall, which is what we see when it busts through the wall and bricks go everywhere, and then the X-Men
Self-destruction! Calm your surging struggle!
She's getting it done.
Very dramatic. Then the X-Men get in a fight with Arkon.
From the Chamber of Commerce.
I love that line, actually. I meant to bring that one up. They smash up some of the robots. He's like, I hope they're not from the Chamber of Commerce.
That's a pretty funny line for Cyclops.
Yeah, it actually is. So there's a fun little fight, and actually some of the little fight sequences between Wolverine and Arkon are kind of fun. Arkon slams him down, and Wolverine gets him in a hurricane.
Shot to kidnap Storm. I bet he lives up there.
Not particularly scientific, but persuasive nonetheless.
I thought so.
I like that line. This is giant castle on the mountain. He's like, well, he's probably living up there, and they're all just like, where could he be?
Yeah, exactly. And so basically, they think that Arkon captured Storm. They find out that she's happy to be there and she's helping. First, she was kind of passed out in the chair from after, using all this energy to kind of stabilize the planet. When she wakes up, she is sort of tussled awake by Jubilee, and she stops them from fighting Arkon. And and then basically her and Arkon go off and talk to themselves, in which Arkon wants her to marry him because they're obviously deeply connected. To which she agrees.
Just like in the movies. This hurts me more than it's gonna hurt you, pal.
Oh yes, that's right.
Huh?
That was great.
That's how they escape the prison, is that they pretend to have a fight amongst themselves in the prison cells, so the robots come.
And that is such a classic move from a movie, though.
It really is.
Causing a disturbance in the cells, and they
and then the guard comes in, and then they beat him up, and they all escape.
But Wolverine's so excited about it that he gets to rough up Cyclops.
But yeah, this whole thing about Storm falling in love with Arkon like within minutes, like she's only been on the planet for like an hour. And she's already like, obviously we have some connection. I'm marrying this man. So he brings her out and introduces her as their new queen, and everybody celebrates. And the X-Men are like,
is there still time, Storm?
I shall try, but there cannot be any more interruptions.
Yeah, she's mad at the X-Men.
Storm, will you rule by my side as Empress? Will you bond with me as you have bonded with the planet?
Andre, will you bond with me as you bonded with the planet?
No.
Okay.
Yes, I will.
Storm will.
It's so dumb and fast.
It's awful, yeah. It's I got lots to say about it. That's for sure.
Well, I'm at the end of the episode. That's it. So
yeah, that is it.
I present to you our queen, Storm.
That's it.
C'est fini.
All right. The
Our
storm
one.
front has begun.
We get a whole other part of this, so buckle up, buckaroo.
It could have been one episode, probably.
Each of us will have to look into his own heart and decide.
It's been an awful long time since Rogue's been on the show.
Yeah, I miss her moxie. Hopefully there's some good Rogue stuff coming, but I feel like there isn't based on the episode. All right, well, Sad, you seem to have an idea of what you want to give it.
4.
Oh, wow.
It's bad.
Big stinker,
It's really bad
big
episode.
stinker.
Nothing happens. Arkon's dumb. This forced relationship between the two of them is really dumb. They don't even kiss, I don't think. And he's like, let's get married. She's like, I'm in. And they might once after he proposes to her, maybe. But
yeah, maybe they do.
Yeah.
I mean, Storm does some heroic shit though, and there's some
It's
funny.
mostly
lines.
just like standing there going, oh, and the weather like fixing itself. It's not very exciting action wise.
When she jumped out of the plane, that was pretty cool.
She flies.
Yeah, exactly. It's cool watching her do it.
You just love Storm so much. You're blinded by science.
I'm gonna give it a 6.
Oh, that's way too generous. Over 5 is too generous.
I mean, the story's not the best, but there's some good character stuff. Jubilee's good. Wolverine's pretty funny. Cyclops even has a zinger. Beast is beasting it up. There's some good stuff.
But I don't know. Just the characters being
the Arkon stuff is like
the characters being the characters should be the measuring stick for this episode. We shouldn't reward the episode for actually just doing the characters that are the main characters of the show correctly.
I think that's what we do.
Okay. You have your criteria, and I have mine, and mine's correct.
I mean, they don't like. Not every episode has funny Jubilee.
It's all right, man. No. If you like it, you like it. Or you like it enough that you give it that score. That's fine. Don't let me hamper.
6 is not high for me. I'm usually pretty.
It's passing grade.
Show. Yeah. Well,
it's 60%.
Storm episode.
You're getting by. You're passing grade 6 science with that one.
All right, uncanny X points.
All right, who's going first?
All right, I can go first.
Okay.
So get into the Arkon of it all. So the Polemicus's rings thing that they need her to restore them to, because it basically heats and cools the planets, I think. those rings, which is interesting. But that's from the comics. That's a thing.
So the rings are like the heat pump, the heat pump of
like that, and the ozone layer, and like all kinds of stuff. Yeah, like the weather regulation somehow. Yeah. That's from the comics.
Interesting. My first point before I forget is our little icon we use on social media, the X-rated logo. It's the same template we use for all of these. Same template we use for these episodes, but we have one that we made just for the social media little icon, and that is actually from this episode. I recognized it immediately after it showed up. At one point when they're on the yep,
up in
exactly.
the corner there.
That image is from this episode. So a fun little nod. I'm surprised it took how far along the season it was.
Yeah, really though.
Or the show rather, quite long.
Like I say, I think this was originally maybe in season 4.
No, it could have been.
But still pretty late. You would think that was for season 1 image because it's quite common. Yeah. Well, my X point. So in the comics, it's gonna be a lot of in the comics with my X point. It's not.
Actually, in the comics, Storm doesn't do that. She
doesn't
uses her powers to make the ring turn clockwise, not counterclockwise.
She doesn't. Okay. But I'll do it in my smooth tones rather than the stereotypical nerd voice.
Nerd voice, okay.
Yeah. But it's Scarlet Witch. He gets to do it with a spell. He needs Scarlet Witch to do a spell to fix the rings. But then that doesn't work. So eventually, Tony and somebody else fixes it with an invention. Oh. Yeah. Back to you.
Back to me, eh? Well, I had the action sequence between Wolverine and Arkon when they get in their little fight is actually kind of cool. Like most of these episodes are just like standard punch, standard kick. You know what I mean? Like you don't get any real different types of action. This one they got a cool little sequence where he goes to attack him and Arkon catches his claws, picks him up, kind of body slams him. Wolverine's down. He uses both his feet and kind of hooks around. It's actually a wrestling move around the guy's neck and pulls him forward and flips him like a monkey flip. Little kind of Hurricanrana thing. It was cool. It was a good little fight sequence. I liked it.
And it's funny though because they brought out all these robots. I'm like, oh yeah, so Wolverine's finally gonna get to use his claws because he's not allowed to claw people or anything in this show, but they can have him tear up robots and stuff. But he doesn't even he doesn't even. They always catch his claws, and he always ends up always kicking or flipping things away. It's kind of funny. But I was expecting a big claw fest, and it didn't happen. Oh, arcade, buddy! I have a very whiny kitty.
You got a whiny kitty there.
Yeah, I do. He wants to go outside, but it's too late. He's not going outside this late. No, you're not going outside this late.
According to
go ahead.
My next X point. This is my third one. According to this IMDb, the voice of Arkon is Paul Haddad, who we've seen in this show several times. Most notably, he has performed voice acting as I just had it here in front of my face. He was Quicksilver and Byron Collie in the past. So,
okay.
Yep.
All right. Well, interesting. Well, okay. My next X point. One more thing about Arkon, I suppose. So then he comes back because somebody tells him that there's movies being made about him, and that Wonder Man is the star. So he comes back to confront Wonder Man about starring as him in his movies.
And how did that shake out?
I think he just goes away. There were no movies. It was all bullshit. There was no movies, Arkon movies. So I think he just finds out it's all bullshit.
Yeah. My next point is this movie has an awful lot of something that I really hate in fiction. As someone who watched a lot of movies, television, reads books, consumes fiction in a lot of different mediums. Whenever I'm confronted with just because, it just makes me so mad.
Oh yeah,
because it's lazy as fuck. And
me too,
like, how does he know who Storm is? I don't think there's ever going to be answered. You know, like, is he just like, how does he know her powers will fix his planet? How does he know any of this stuff? I don't even explain what's wrong with the planet. It just seems to be out of whack. Something oh yeah, no, we do know that. We do know that. She mentions there's some kind of I forgot to mention this for time of the episode. She mentions there's some kind of a spire, some kind of a tower that she can sense is what's causing the trouble with the planet. He says that they need that, and that he hoped that her powers would be enough to circumvent that, which they are. But I'm guessing we're going to figure out what's going on with that spot. There's some kind of a weird thing at the top of it. Yeah. But I'm assuming Arkon's really not a good guy, and we're going to find that in the next episode. But we'll find out anyway. And that spire hides some dark secrets.
He's just kind of a turd in the comics. Like, he's not super bad or anything. No. He's just a turd. But like a lot of Marvel characters, like Namor and stuff, he's just a turd.
We should do like the polished turd, where like we give a turd award to the biggest turd of an episode.
Oh, that's not a bad one. We'll do that maybe for the 97 series, or maybe next episode. You never know. So I
can't wait to hear the music. I can't wait to hear the music for the turd segment's going to be.
It'll be Blob.
Yeah, they play. It's like a trumpet whenever he's around. You know, like the seminal cartoon of fat guys walking music.
Yeah,
it's like a tuba. Burm, 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 burm. You know, yeah.
I'm gonna sit on ya. That's what he says. Right. So his look, Roy Thomas and John Buscema created this character.
I love me some John Buscema.
Oh yeah, man. And they said his look was a combination of John Carter of Mars and Conan.
Really? That makes sense. He did. I did think he had a bit of a Conan vibe to him. The John Carter
King.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The John Carter of Mars thing makes sense too.
Yep.
That's cool. All right, my final X point. Yeah, I guess I brought it up earlier, but this is what I had written down. There's hardly any Rogue in like she hasn't been in an episode in a very long time. Mm-hmm. She was in the background of the Phalanx episode when they fixed it.
She showed up in the last scene.
But she didn't say anything.
There. Yeah,
she wasn't standing there. She wasn't any of the Beyond Good and Evil stuff. I don't think, was she?
I don't think so. Gambit showed up in that.
She wasn't in the Morlock Little Curse. Oh no, that's not the right order. But yeah, she hasn't been in hardly any of these episodes in quite a long while. Like most of season 4 and none of season 5 yet.
Yeah, it's sad times over there. Maybe she's vacationing.
And based on what I'm looking at here for the next episodes coming down the pipeline, doesn't look like she's in any of these either.
Yeah, it's not looking good.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have to ask Lenore where she was in season 5.
That's right.
So my last one, did you know it's Stormfront Fest here in the United Federation of Podcasts?
Well, what?
In the strangest of coincidences, we're starting our Stormfront 2-parter today.
Oh.
And over at Enterprise at 8, over on our Live Long and Podcast channel, they're starting the Stormfront 2-parter.
I think I did 5 points already. Did you do an extra point?
I think you might have only did 4, maybe.
No, I'm pretty sure I did 5.
Well,
the fight, the the lack of Rogue, the
maybe we did them out of order.
That's all right.
But yeah, so strange, eh? Strange coincidence.
That's funny.
Two Stormfront 2-parters going.
We're all just so on the same page. It's amazing.
It is amazing, isn't it? All right, well, that's our Uncanny X points. Now, why don't you all check this out?
Hey, check this out.
Hey, check this out. It's our comic reminiscences and recommendations. I mean, I think mine's going to be obvious. It's Secret World, Weird World. Secret Wars, I should say. Weird World. And like these covers, and the art on the inside, too, by one of my favorite artists who you should have on your show, Mike Del Mondo. I got him to sign.
I tried. I reached out to them. They never got back to me.
Well, see what we can do. But yeah, so he's signed these. But look at his art. Like, I love this stuff. His art's amazing.
That's awesome.
Cover. This one's pretty sweet. Like,
that's really cool.
Like, check out this Man-Thing one.
That's awesome.
Man,
I think I had the collection of that.
Oh man!
Or I read it when it came out. I can't remember.
Just uses so many colors too. Like, he's just dripping in colors, you know, like instead of sweat. Like, I love Mike Del Mondo's art. Check out anything. That's basically my recommendation too. Check out anything by Mike Del Mondo. He drew Avengers for a little while. But yeah, so check out Weird World. It's fun. It's Arkon dropped in the middle of Weird World during Secret Wars, and he comes upon a crystal warrior named Warbow. And Warbow is trying to find who many of comic listeners, or even toy collectors, comic listeners, comic readers, and toy collectors may know Kristar the Crystal Warrior.
Oh, yes.
Yes. So Warbow is trying to find Kristar, because he's also in Weird World. But then they find Kristar, and he's just a bag of diamonds at that point. He's just in pieces. So, then he meets Jennifer Kale and the Man-Things and Morgan Le Fay, and there's a whole kerfuffle there. And then, you know, Secret Wars ends, and then Weird World ends up being in the main 616 universe in the Bermuda Triangle after all that. So Weird World's kicking around the Marvel universe.
Oh, that's cool.
My recommendation. Arkon's just like he's trying to find Polemicus, but eventually he's just like, yeah, I'm not going to find Polemicus, because he walks to the edge of Flat Earth. I mean, Weird World. And he doesn't want to. And he was going to jump off the edge, and then he's saved.
Flat Earth is how you call it? You a flat earther?
Hell no.
All right.
I'm a Star Trek fan.
I see.
I run the science division over at Live Long and Podcast. I can't be a flat earther.
It's true, you can. My recommendation is going to be a new book that just came out from Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips, who we most notably did all criminal books and The Fade Out and Criminal.
Winter Soldier and the Death of Captain America.
Death Captain America. They do a lot of really good indie crime books. All those criminal books. Daredevil. All those criminal books. I think GCPD, that was those two as well.
Oh, yeah.
Sleeper. The Fade Out, which is a really cool one. What's that other book that they did with the guy Kill or Be Killed, I think it was called? And there's a few others too. But anyway, they have a new one out. Looks like they're taking a break in between their those books, not the criminal ones. The ones they're doing about the guy, the dude you hire to like fix problems that works in a movie theater. There's a bunch of them that just came out. I think what are those called? They're great books. They all have different names. They're Reckless, I think it's the guy's last name. So it's like a Reckless book or something. And anyway, they're taking a break from those, I'm guessing, to do this one. It's called Night Fever. Got a great fancy little cover. I believe this version of the book is an exclusive for Indigo. So, but it's a great, if you like their stories and their style and the beautiful illustrations and all that stuff, this is the book for you. Super cool. Dark story. Sort of about a guy that gets wrapped up in some mysterious stuff on a business trip. I don't really want to ruin any of it, but just check it out. It's very good. And if you like Brubaker and Phillips collaborations, this is just as good as anything else you could.
Awesome. Well, check that out too, everybody. Some Brubaker, some good stuff. So, where are we at here? Oh, it's Andre's remote.
You don't like the movie? Change the channel.
Okay. Well, I watched a movie last night. I wouldn't recommend. It's all right, but it's like I give it like a 2.5 out of 5. It's that one Air about like the making of the Air Jordan shoe.
Okay.
It was all right. Like, I mean, 2.5 out of 5 is pretty good considering I don't care about shoes
Sneakers.
at all. You know what I mean? So it seems like these stories where it's like kind of like I get that it meant a lot to the guys that signed Jordan and made Nike what it is today. But I can't imagine it was as dramatic as it was when you're making a movie about it, right? Like, it's just really funny when something that seems like the stakes are high for the characters, but you know, most films are like real emotional drama or explosions in action. It's weird watching something that's like all the action is like, well, Michael Jordan signed the contract. So one thing, when it is a newer movie, but I think because of the content, it still fits the way that you make me pick my movies for this. So there's a documentary that came out a little while ago called Electric Boogaloo, and it's about Canon Films, who most people may remember for having
Fantastic Four,
who having very few hits and an awful lot of misses. The hits being Bloodsport, and that's debatable if it's a hit.
That's a hit. We're covering that on Hold Up a Movie.
I want to say Romancing the Stone was one of theirs as well, which was a big movie. They had a few big movies at the time, but they did the Masters of the Universe movie, the one with Dolph Lundgren. So they had a few hits, but a lot of misses. And it's an interesting documentary about I have a lot to get. I have a lot of time for people that are really passionate to do something, but are really bad at it. So like the Ed Woods of the world, or the those sort of people. When you kind of listen or learn about their stories, they're always kind of interesting, and somewhat heartfelt, because they're passionate. They really want to do this. They're just really bad at it. So yeah, exactly. So these two cousins from like Iran or something, that came here and bought Canon Films, and then tried to turn it for 10 years, basically ran it as a studio, and did some wild stuff with some of these movies. It's a very interesting documentary. It's free on YouTube. You can anybody can go watch it anytime. It's very good and well worth your time. You should check it out.
All right.
And also, Davan, for you guys on your little show there that I listened to,
you're gonna be on in 3 episodes.
Oh Jesus! Okay, hopefully so. Hopefully that works out. There's the Quentin Tarantino's podcast, the Video Archives. You should listen to. There's an awful lot of movies in that, a lot of old movies that they talk about, because all the movies they watch on those shows are VHSs that were when Tarantino used to work in a video store, and when him and Roger Avery, his writing partner, they wrote Pulp Fiction together. They both worked at the store when they were kids, and when the store closed, Tarantino bought all the VHS library and preserved it in his home or a storage place. So the two of them get together along with Avery's daughter, who's like their producer, and they watch like 3 movies per episode that are all old VHS tapes from the archive. And I've learned about a ton of movies.
They're stealing the Hold Up concept.
Well, there's no real discernible theme. The way they do it is like 2 of them are kind of a double bill. Like the first 2 could be a double bill. And they usually are, because the 2 movies they talk about would be ones that are showing as a double bill, because Quentin Tarantino owns a theater in LA, the New Beverly, where he shows, it's a revival house where he shows a lot of old movies. So often those 2, but then they usually have a third, because back in the day at the drive-ins, they used to do a double feature, and then they do triple features. And the third movie is always some weird movie that had nothing to do with the first 2, that they were just getting out there because they need something to fill the space. So often they do 3, and the third one doesn't narratively fit the first 2, but they're always interesting and fun. I've learned about a ton of movies.
It's like Friday the 13th, Night Before Elm Street, The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, basically. Like, although it's more like, Dirty Harry and that's another thing Canon was famous for, was doing all the Death Wish movies. Like I believe they did. I think they didn't do the first one, but I believe they did all the other ones, the sequels, like the next 7. They also did all the like all the Chuck Norris movies. They're the ones who kind of made Chuck Norris an action star. So that's in there too. But it's funny, they're talking about the Master of the Universe movie, and Dolph Lundgren is like, I guess Stallone was. Oh yeah, that's another one they did too. Over the Top, the Stallone movie, the arm wrestling one.
I never saw.
You don't know about that? Oh man, he's like a truck driver.
Wrestling movie was.
He's a truck driver who's like travels with his son in the truck, and he goes into arm wrestling competitions, and this is big, and they talk about how like it's not that exciting, like an arm wrestler like
doesn't sound very exciting.
Like when you do this, it's over. It's not like But it's so that was another big one they did. But I guess when they were filming the Master of the Universe movie, like Stallone stopped by the set, he looks up at like Dolph Lundgren overdoing something. And he looks at the producer. And he goes, "You gave that guy lines." It's like Rocky IV. He barely said anything, right?
That's pretty funny.
But yeah. Anyway, so check it out. It's super fun. But yeah, that podcast is yeah. So they would do like maybe Death Wish, maybe one of those Invasion USA or one of those Chuck Norris movies, and then throw in like Slithus or the Demonoid or some weird other movie that narratively didn't have anything to do with those two. But yeah, it's fun. It's a good way to learn about other movies.
Perhaps you better take over from here.
He sounds so embarrassed.
Sweet tunes for the X-Goons. I'm going to make it quick. Look, I want you all to go and relax when we're done here, X-Goons. I want you to put on some smooth flamenco guitar played by Jesse Cook. Put on Jesse Cook, the Tempest album, and just relax and hear a master guitar player do beautiful, beautiful music. Jesse Cook, Tempest. All right, that's that. But yeah, it's great stuff. I've been listening to it since I was like a teenager at least, and that's one album that always sticks with me and I keep going back to. So check it out. What do we got? What's up next? So what do you think about this Deadpool 3 rumor?
Oh, the villain is? Yeah, did I send you that? Because I remember reading that and thinking I should send that to Davan.
But
I'm quite excited
send
about
it to you because that's as a Morrisonite, yourself there.
Yes, I'm very excited.
Morrison character.
I mean, it would probably fit with him being weird, but if Professor X isn't in the movie, I
think he probably is.
James McAvoy, or I think it'll be
Patrick Stewart, maybe. I mean, I'm pretty sure Magneto's in it.
Ian McKellen?
Yeah.
Really? All right. Yeah. Well, they're having fun.
They're killing the Fox universe. I think they're all going to be in it.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what's happening. I mean, I'm happy with pretty much everything. Well, not every the worst stuff Marvel puts out is still okay to me. So, I'd say the movie
Secret
I like.
Invasion. Did you see it?
No. Yeah. I will watch it soon. What am I watching right now? I don't even remember what I'm watching right now. It's a show. It's on TV. I'm really digging it. Oh, Good Omens. The second season just came out.
Oh yeah, I've been watching that too.
I like the first season a lot. So yeah,
that's what
I like the second season.
The first season. I think we finished the first season.
Michael Sheen and David Tennant are great. Yeah. They're good friends in real life, and they're really fun together in the show. So.
Yeah, it's a pretty good show. Pretty good.
That's great. So once I finish that, I gotta, watch a bunch of other shows that I'm behind on. But Secret Invasion is definitely one I want to watch. So.
I finally saw Nope.
Oh, what do you think?
It was fine.
Oh, I'm gonna slap you in the face when I see you next. That movie's amazing.
It was fine.
Do you like Jaws? Then if you like Jaws, you should love this movie. It's Jaws with something else that's not a shark.
Yeah, I mean,
ruining. I guess the movie's been out for a while, so it's not a spoiler. Yeah. But the concept and how it works is great, and it's one of the most original things I've seen in sci-fi. Doing a spin on something that everyone knows what it is in a different way.
Wake up! You are having one of your delusions.
Did you mean to play that?
I didn't press that.
That's actually really funny.
That is funny.
Come on, man! That's an incredibly original idea.
Yeah, but I just found it kind of boring.
Boring,
for a lot of it. Dude, for a lot of it. I mean, it was just like a bit uneventful and. I don't know. I mean, it was just an alien hiding in the clouds, right?
Yeah. No, it's not just. Yeah, I mean, it is, but it's like a predator. It's like a shark that attacks you on land. Like, it's terrifying. And figuring out exactly, and even the revelation that it isn't a ship, it's like UFOs as we know them are creatures themselves.
I thought that was cool.
That was incredibly clever. And I thought that was, and I thought it was beautiful. Like the design of the thing is beautiful. Like when you see it open up and it becomes even bigger, and it's like this big, like kind of Aeon or Escaflowne kind of looking creature thing. Like that was super cool. The allegories about not fucking with nature with the chimpanzee in the show. It was disturbing and very well done. You know how you can't tame a predator. You can try, but and you know we shouldn't fuck with nature the way we do sometimes. I don't know. I love that movie. I think Jordan Peele has hit three. Jordan Peele has hit 3 grand slams with every movie he's made.
He hit a grand slam, and then he did a movie that you have to turn your brain completely off to watch.
What, Us?
Yeah. There's so many. It's like it's so many plot holes in that movie.
Name it. I'll tell you why it's not. Tell me one plot hole.
The fact that there's a double of everybody.
Yeah.
No, that's them. It's called them.
No,
called
Americans.
Them or us.
There's a double of every American, not every human.
Yeah, but just in these abandoned subway stations. So, like hundreds of millions of underground people. People go exploring and urban exploring all the time, but no one runs into these hundreds of millions of people.
Nope.
It's just... And like they're not even hidden. Like what they find these people by going through this one door at the carnival. The little girl finds them. Like they're not even hidden. Yet these hundreds of millions of people just go undetected forever. It's the stupidest thing. Like that movie would have been good if he decided to never explain anything. Because he didn't really have good explanations. Yes,
they didn't really. Well, no, they didn't explain why.
Too much.
No, they didn't explain why.
No, because there is no explanation because it's stupid. But they explained too much. Like they should have left even more mystery than they did, and then I probably would have loved that movie because it was creepy. But then it just got so dumb.
I loved stylistically that gave me. I loved it so much that I could forgive that. I get what you're saying, but I mean, for the sake of a movie. Maybe America and that world's bigger. Maybe underground tunnels are more than what's there now. You don't have to assume that that movie is exactly the Earth that is projected in the movies. Exactly as we know.
But to my point, if like he didn't go so far to explain that there's like basically one of everyone, so that there are hundreds of millions of them. If it was just a double of that family,
some of them could have died. It doesn't necessarily mean they're also there.
Yeah.
So
they're all eating those rabbits, but. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's. I mean,
liked this. Nope, I liked better than Us.
Yeah, I love everything, but yeah, Nope. I probably. I don't know. It's
Get Out was amazing. I love Get Out.
They're all great movies.
Yeah.
Did you see Barbie yet?
No, I haven't seen Barbie yet. I mean, I probably won't go to the theater to see it, but I'll watch it.
It's very good.
Sounds funny. I heard about that beach off gag. Go to the
oh yeah, I forgot about that. It's good, very good, very good movie. Highly suggest it.
Fair enough. What do we got here? We got a little bit. It's a late start, but let's throw a little something here. Let's cast this episode. Actually, that'll be fun. We'll do our live remakes, so we can cast Arkon.
Oh no, who would cast Arkon?
That's a good question, isn't it? Boom. Oh, I turned the volume down on that. All right, live remakes. All right, Andre, who plays Arkon? In the
Gotta be someone in pretty good shape.
Pretty good shape.
A decent actor.
I mean, he clearly just seduced Storm instantly with his rippling pectorals.
Okay, I'm going to assume that... Okay, I'm going to go on this route. I'm going to assume that this character, as depicted in it, wouldn't be given his own Marvel show. He would be like a side character in a Thor show.
Of course not. Yeah, he could be on a Weird World show. If
he showed up in Thor, in the next Thor movie, he goes to Weird World, and then we see Arkon. He'd only be in it just...
He could go to...
Yeah, he goes to Plemicus, and Arkon is there. I would say Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt, isn't he too old? Maybe not. But...
He's still in good shape.
He could play him.
I know who actually. Yeah, that would be fun in the way that like he's only in it for a little bit, you know.
Yeah.
And like as a cameo, and the way that Marvel sends to cast people, that's kind of what they do.
He's already the Vanisher.
That was in the Fox universe.
It's true.
Terry Crews was in there too, so you know he's. But
yeah.
Well, yeah, and so Cable is also Thanos, so whatever. Yeah. But the guy that I think, based on how popular he is right now, and his physique and his height and all that sort of stuff. The guy that plays Jack Reacher on the Reacher show, Alan Richson, I think his name is.
Okay.
He, I only knew him because he played Aquaman on Smallville, but now he's in this big show that's based on those Lee Child's books, Jack Reacher. It's just called Reacher, I think. But or maybe the show's called Jack Reacher, I don't know. But yeah, he's a big, shredded, German-looking guy with blonde hair. So I think he'd be good.
All right, I like it.
You see him?
All right.
Did you look him up?
No, I didn't.
Look him up. You'll look him up. You'll love it.
All right, what's his name again?
Alan Richson.
Alan Richson.
Ritchson.
Oh yeah, he could play Arkon. Jesus, He looks just like him in that.
Exactly, yeah.
Kind of creepy. He even has like that straight bridge of his nose where like he doesn't even need that face gear that Arkon had. Wow, well done, sir.
There you go.
Nailed that one. I don't want to spoil this edition of live remakes by trying to cast like Storm or anything like that.
You can do it.
What, cast Storm? Oh my god.
We did this before. We already cast her, didn't we?
Yeah, we already cast Storm. I don't remember who it was. But somebody. Cast somebody from The Woman King. I just watched that recently too.
The Viola Davis movie?
Yeah, the Viola Davis movie.
I've heard it wasn't that good. Was it good?
Yeah, it was fine.
All right.
I probably liked it more than Nope.
Oh man, shut up! You're not allowed to have a movie podcast. You guys have such backwards.
You're gonna berate us so much.
It's like a movie podcast for people that don't know. I don't want to insult you because I like you guys. So I don't know how to word this, but it's like your show's like a movie podcast for people that don't really watch movies. Like I just you guys shit on like movies that win Oscars, and then you talk about how great
some shitty movies win Oscars.
Then you talk about how great Greenland is for an entire episode.
Greenland. Have you seen it?
No.
It's awesome.
I'm sure I'm not going to like it that much.
It's just a popcorn flick, but damned if it isn't a good one.
That's what I mean. Like it's like your guys are like, you guys like movies that the masses like. It's like, but not like
I don't generally
ones that are artsy or different.
I'm usually the opposite. Like I like Dr. Strangelove, and like it's popular.
That's a pretty popular movie. Das Boot's a popular movie. Like Wolfgang Peterson went on to make huge movies.
But some of those movies are just undeniably good. Like that's what that is. But
so I was talking to
good man. Check it out.
I do. Part of my work is I do social media for a cannabis place, and I often will interview some of the staff and ask some questions just to make these little blurbs about the staff on social media. And I always ask what their favorite movie is, and one girl said Atomic Blonde. Made me think of you right away.
That's an awful movie.
It's her favorite movie. I wouldn't say it was awful.
The thing is, you can't really lump me and Murphy into the same box because we almost
I absolutely can.
We disagree on almost every movie. Like, have you seen The Man from Earth?
No.
Oh, that's a good movie. Anyway,
Murphy like
we're about to fight about that one tomorrow night.
Murphy like seems to dislike any old movie.
Anything that doesn't have explosions.
And you seem to dislike every new movie. Anything after, so like
I like anything that's too like just generic. I can't handle like just churned out content.
Greenland, and you like Greenland.
Greenland is surprisingly good.
I guarantee you that is just one big generic action movie. I'll go watch it. I don't think I will, but if I were, I'm sure I'd probably just.
Yeah, it is just.
If you watch any disaster movie, I'm sure everything in it is just that.
It just has some legit dramatic moments, and the people feel real. And Morena Baccarin is great in it because she's great in everything. Like it's good. It's pretty good. Like it's not Dr. Strangelove, but I was just surprised because
I am happy you like that movie because that is a good movie. So.
Oh, that's a great movie. One of the best.
I just feel like a lot of my favorite movies you probably won't care for.
Well, maybe. I mean, they'll be super, super artsy.
How do you feel with No Country for Old Men?
I just bought the DVD because like I saw it like when it came out, and I think I fell asleep. Not because it was bad, but I was just like really tired and late.
It's possibly the best movie ever made. So
well, I have a DVD copy now or a Blu-ray or something.
What about There Will Be Blood? You watched
There Will
that?
Be Blood. I know that one. What's that one?
It's the one with Daniel Day-Lewis. That one, and it's my friend's favorite movie, and No Country for Old Men is like my legit art, like real movie favorite movie. So we often argue over which one's worse or which one's better because they came out at the same time, and they're up head to head for the Oscars that year. And my movie won the best Oscar, so I always have that over Craig, but he does love that movie. So it's a Paul Thomas Anderson movie. It's with Daniel Day-Lewis, Paul Dano.
No,
it's a good one too.
Well, maybe we'll cover it on Hold Up a Movie Podcast Season 2. Season 2 is all planned. Pretty much.
How many episodes got in a season?
20.
Respectable.
We're on like 17 or 18 tomorrow, which is prehistory with Adam Woodward. Well, let's talk about that here in a minute.
Prehistory. It's pronounced Pristory.
Pristory?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's right, but I'll take your word.
But I said it with confidence.
It's for
You did.
you to contact your students, Professor.
What's the homework there, Professor My Ex?
Watch part 2 of this terrible series. Stormfront part 2.
The second part's awesome.
I am almost sure it won't be.
If she's gonna see through his bullshit and like kick his ass to the curb, it might be great.
Well, she probably will, but
it'd
have to be pretty great to undo this episode.
Yeah, well, it will. All right. Well, you can support the show at patreon.com/X-Men Review Show, and you can vote on our polls, like who has the best beard. And you know what I was thinking, Andre? Actually, let me talk to you about this for a minute, because we're trying to think of what to do after this season ends between now and 97 when that is released. And I was thinking maybe we'd put a few options together and throw it to the patrons and let them decide.
No. I'm gonna let this rabble decide what we do.
Okay.
I'm kidding. Whatever. I'm down. That sounds fun.
Well, we'll tailor the options.
Our 3 Patreon members can figure out.
Yeah, exactly. There's only 3, so that's a lot of power. We'll think about it.
Jaemeel is just going mad with power.
Yeah, exactly. But a lot of you, the rest of you, could join Patreon, and then it would be, a more fair contest.
That's right. More balanced.
Yeah, more balanced poll. Contact us at xmenreviewshow@gmail.com. Follow us on YouTube, Facebook, and the Twitches. Find our audio-only version wherever you get your podcast. And please like, review, and subscribe. And did you know, Andre, that we are a proud member of these United Federations?
I had no idea.
It is true. It is true. Look at that logo. It's beautiful.
Who did that?
Jaemeel has stickers.
Who did that logo?
I don't know.
Some magical man with a giant penis.
Fool.
I prefer to believe it's a magical man with a giant penis.
But there's many great podcasts in this federation, including X-Rated, the X-Men animated review show. I don't know if you've heard of that one, where we do interviews with people like voice actor Adrian Huff. We've got that one coming up.
And you actually looked up how to pronounce his name correctly, because I had no idea, so I'm glad you did.
I didn't.
You just guessed it was Huff?
Yeah.
It's like Ho.
No.
Hogue?
No, Hogue is G-U-E.
Oh, it's H-O-E-G.
Yeah, G-H. This is Huff. Yeah.
Huff. You think
I
so?
didn't know if I was right, but I'm glad I am if you looked it up.
I didn't look it up. I have no idea, so.
Oh. Well, I could be wrong. We'll ask him.
We can just refer to him as Adrian.
Adrian. Nightcrawler. We call him Kurt.
Oh, God.
Mr. Wagner.
I'm sure he'll love that.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm a man, not a goddamn cartoon character.
I'm a man.
No, you're Nightcrawler. Talk in the German accent, Nightcrawler.
Do a flip.
Yeah. Bamf away.
What's going on over on that side?
Well, another week off just because I'm on vacation and I'm not going to be around long enough to record an episode, unfortunately. But I do have some irons in the fire from upcoming guests. David Hahn who is a comic artist and worked for Marvel and DC. It looks like he's going to be my next guest, so I'm just working on that, coordinating with him. But keep an eye on the socials, and if to confirm
before they block us, the socials are blocking Canadians.
Oh, are they?
Well, Canadian media.
That's only the news. Nobody,
the news.
And which is primarily where I get my news is on.
Not anymore.
Facebook. I guess not. I'm gonna actually have to fucking skim a newspaper or something.
Yep.
Yeah, he did. Most recently, he did some of the Batman 66 comics for DC. But yeah, he's cool. Very cool artist. Did some great work. He did the Batman animated adventures comics too. Great stuff. Really cool artist. You can look him up, David Hahn, Hahn. But once again, that's not confirmed. I'm just hoping that'll be the next guest because he said we can coordinate after the 6th, which I will. So
sweet. Looking forward to it. Over at Super Maida Brothers, they're
how are they not getting sued for using that?
That's why I don't use it, but I decided to throw it up this once.
All right.
I don't think they use it either for that same reason.
Oh, okay. It's pretty great.
Yeah, Murphy made it, and we were all like, I don't know. But Murphy's like, it's fine.
Oh, is it? Okay.
I don't know. But they review reality shows over there. We also do the Mary Mater Society over there, Mary Mater Marvel Society. We just reviewed Secret Invasion.
How did that go? What was the consensus?
Not favorable.
Really?
No.
That's unfortunate.
No. Yeah, it's like I was probably the highest on it, and I wasn't particularly high on it. It had a few moments, a few cool.
Well, there's a certain super character that makes an appearance in the series, which is fun.
Is it? Anyway, you'll have to see it.
Okay.
And we also, of course, we talked about it. Hold Up a Movie podcast, where we were reviewing Quest for Fire, The Man from Earth, and 65 tomorrow night with Adam Woodward and my co-host Chris Worldmine Murphy. So check that out. Hold Up a Movie podcast, where it's a movie podcast for people who don't watch movies, according to my co-host here tonight.
No, I'm not saying it's like the podcast for those. Just you guys. I enjoy the show, so obviously doing something right. Like I listen to every episode.
It's controversial. It's just controversy.
I don't know. I feel like sometimes you guys don't give some movies that are actually really good movies a fair enough shake because of arbitrary reasons. But that's just me.
Yeah, well, I do have some criteria movies have to meet. I generally have to be entertained. Something I could see it being is like a grand production that was put together by
define
skillful
entertainment.
people.
Well, define entertainment because there are a lot of movies
Well,
that are like
falling asleep and
harrowing.
I'm bored.
Okay, but there are a lot of movies that are like harrowing psychological journeys. Would you say?
But that's fine. Like if something's like the tension's keeping me on the edge of my seat or something like that.
I don't even mean that. I mean,
I don't like explosions and all this crap.
I'm not talking about that. Like Schindler's List.
But I need intrigue.
Is Schindler's List entertaining?
I haven't seen it.
Oh wow. Okay.
Because I know what it's about, and I'm like, I don't need to put myself through that.
That's what I mean. Like there are movies out there that don't fit a criteria where they're like actiony or like super entertaining in that way, but they're like they to me, if you feel anything,
but those are enthralling. Like movies like that, just like kind of suck you in with the weight of them. And
that's fair.
Like that.
Harrowing.
There's some things, like some things, just I feel like there's like some movies are just kind of a nothing burger to me. I'm like, well, that wasn't fun. Or it's a comedy. I'm like, well, that wasn't funny. Or like, sometimes performances I find are bad. Like sometimes the stories are just dumb. Like the Pink Panther, like that movie just sucked. We all hated it. Like all three.
Yeah, I could have told you would have hate that one.
But that's what I mean. Like some movies just aren't good. There are bad movies out there, and sometimes we run across them. But,
mostly because it's the first one, so the first one really was just sort of it wasn't until the second one and then subsequent ones where they really fell into the Clouseau thing. It was mostly the first one was mostly a standalone movie. And then they went hard when they rediscovered, how popular he was, that they went on with it. But
well, Andre, since you listen to the podcast, Hold Up a Movie podcast, you might find this graphic interesting, I believe. So check this out. So these are our A, B's, and C movies. So we have way more A movies than anything else. So we've actually been quite positive. Can you see this?
Nope.
Oh, there you go. So it's like mostly A movies and some B, and then B's, and then C's. So we're not too hard on very many movies.
Okay, I'll tell you what deserves to be. Well, all your A movies look okay.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Take those A movies to the bank.
You guys had some arbitrary points with Network that bothered me, but I'm glad it made it into an A movie because that's a fantastic movie.
Oh, I hated half of that movie, but the half I liked was.
It's because you didn't understand it, but it's so good.
I understood that it was supposed to mean. It's just again those scenes bored me.
Okay, now The Tingler I haven't seen. American Werewolf in London definitely should be an A movie.
I agree. I gave it an A
movie. Gremlin should be an A movie. It really bothers me it's a B movie.
See, these are all problems you have with Murphy, and
Ronin should be an A movie. UHF should be an A movie.
Yeah, I liked Ronin. I think I keep.
UHF should definitely be an A movie. I love that movie.
I'm the one who poo-pooed that one.
I actually like that. I heard Huckabees, but not that. Like I wouldn't go to bat for it.
Ugh.
The Apartment, a lot of people I respect like, so I'm gonna watch it. Then I'll have an opinion.
Watch it.
A Bridge Too Far, really? Oh, I'm getting that confused with Bridge on the River Kwai. Sorry.
No, Bridge on the River Kwai is over on the A movie.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay.
One of my favorite movies I've ever seen.
Oh, On the Beach is supposed to On the Beach is one that a lot of people whose opinions I very much value speak highly of. So
I don't know. You like a lot of movies, but I was almost going to say I think you won't like that movie, but maybe you will. Like it had me and Murphy isolated 2 scenes.
There's a lot of lists that are like the most harrowing like end of the world. One I would have suggested for you guys when you're doing that category instead of that one would have been Threads, which is a
well, we even said that movie had a great message, and we even ended with like everyone should probably watch On the Beach once just to get that message, even though it's like a message we've heard now many times, but it was new at that time.
Mm-hmm.
But man,
well, Threads actually was
not good execution.
Threads was a BBC movie that depicted what happened after a nuclear bomb dropped near Britain, and it actually it was made by people that were concerned during the Cold War that this would happen to show the horrors of what that life would really look like. And it was so harrowing and so realistic that a lot of people claim it actually changed the nature of the Cold War, that like Reagan had seen it and made an effort.
On the Beach is not that.
No. I'm talking about Threads, which is
I know. I'm just saying On the Beach does not accomplish those things.
But so
there's
that's one.
Very little realism to it.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. You'll see. And we also have a whole network of Star Trek content. So go check that out. There's reviews, there's sciencey fun shows, there's trivia, there's debates, there's all kinds of things. And interviews, actually. I got an interview coming up with the author of the upcoming Cisco autobiography, Derek Tyler Attico. So looking forward to that.
Cisco autobiography?
Yeah, they do autobiographies, like they did the autobiography of Catherine Janeway, and they did one of Picard.
So it's Janeway. It's someone writing as Janeway writing an autobiography.
Yes, but they even don't say written by on the cover. It says edited by, so you still think it's by the character. So the writer is the editor.
Isn't Cisco like a different dimensional being in another universe now? So how's he writing an autobiography?
Yeah, maybe he's back. Maybe this was before that happened. Who knows? He's back in comics.
Yeah, none of that really works. I don't buy any of these official comic returns as being canon. They never fly until something comes around. I got invested in decades worth of Star Wars comics, and then none of them mattered anymore.
Well, you get invested in Star Wars, you pay the price. I say it all the time.
Oh yeah, well, Star Trek's full of stuff too. I have a book that I'm giving a friend for his birthday, and I'm sure he's not listening to this podcast. That is Planet of the Apes meets Star Trek.
What kind of friend is that then?
A big Star Trek fan and a big Planet of the Apes
fan. Listening to this podcast.
Yeah, that's a good point. But it's the original Star Trek meets Planet of the Apes. That's a comic book. So don't defend Star Wars over Star Trek.
No, the crossovers are silly. Like they do a lot of them. This Doctor Who crosses over with everything. The Alien and Predator crossover with everything. Transformers and
Marvel
Ninja
has the
Turtles
rights to those.
crossover with a lot of things. Yeah, the crossovers.
Ghostbusters
The brand
did.
crossovers. Can't imagine they sell that great, but they keep making them. So
I think they do, sadly.
Yeah, well, aiming on track. We just reviewed the Bee Gees, One Night Only. It made me a Bee Gees fan. They actually have a lot of good tunes. I'm not so big on their ballads, but man, when they decide to like disco funk it up, it's pretty good stuff.
Well, did you listen to what they sounded like before they became a disco band? They were very different.
Yeah, this is a live album, so they went through their whole catalog.
Oh, cool. Yeah,
I
they
didn't like
were
that
not
early stuff. That early stuff, they were a country band.
They only became a disco band because of the Staying Alive movie, and not Staying Alive.
That's all their good songs are after that.
Saturday Night Fever.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they
like
weren't
their
before
early
that. They just sort of leaned hard into it's what got them there. So.
Yay. Also, Hellbound podcast with Alex Blackburn and Michael Chan. They're on hiatus, but they'll be back. And that's it. That's our United Federation. Should we get out of here?
I guess so.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Who do I have to pay to get off this ride?
Me. Pay me. Via Patreon.
$1.